Warning: Supernatural: The Crossroads contains adult language and discussions. If you're easily offended, do not continue to listen.
Oh, Dad. Oh, Dad. Oh, Dad.
I went to the crossroads. Fell down on my
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Supernatural: The Crossroads. As always, I'm your host, Thomas Cowley. Joined with me today is Ryan Denton.
What up, what up?
And Michael Flores.
You look like poop on parade.
There you go. Guys, thank you for joining us today on the live show. If you are listening live, and if you're listening on demand, thank you for taking time out of your day or your work day or whatever you're not doing that you should be doing.
You're probably watching the Star Wars trailer anyways 1,000 times.
We know Ryan's going to watch it 1,000 times later.
Fuck yeah, dude.
As always, guys, this is Supernatural: The Crossroads on Rain Man Digital, Crossroads 003. You can get us on the Rain Man Digital app that is now available in the iTunes Store as well as Google Play Store for Android phones. Make sure you get that. Check us out all the time because you need more of us and more of Ryan.
Yeah,
and his
I mean,
sexy
who doesn't?
voice.
Yeah, my sexy voice.
Which will be a part of the fan fiction, which we will talk about at the end of this episode. But first thing first, we've got the news, which is Brian Singer, X-Men. X-Men's coming to Supernatural.
Singer has finally signed on to do Supernatural. Wolverine is coming to Supernatural.
Today, we're going to be talking about Season 11, Episode 2, Form and Void. But first, as always, we have some Supernatural news, which is Bob Singer out of the show Supernatural? Recently, there's been some tweets about what has happened. According to Jim Michael, which do you guys know who exactly Jim Michael is in regards to the show?
He's a producer.
He's a producer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Co-executive producer is what he's credited as.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a bullshit title.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I like those titles.
He's an executive.
He's a producer, and he's slightly under the executive producer.
Right.
Hence, co. Much like Ryan, co-host. Not quite a host, but co-host.
God.
He's got to throw it back at you after that assault on him in the morning. So I'm going to let you read this tweet now, because I can't breathe, apparently.
All right, hold on. Let me get my nasally voice going here. Bob Singer is now executive consultant. He's still very involved and will direct the usual number of episodes.
That was tweeted by Jim Michaels in regards to people wondering what happened to him. Because I didn't notice this in the premiere episode this season that he was not titled executive producer.
Yeah, I didn't think to look for that at all. I was just ready for the show to start, as I'm sure many people were.
And although Jeremy Carver is the showrunner and the main executive producer, many people debate that they are co-showrunning.
Yeah.
You know, there is one showrunner. When you interview the showrunner, there's been two.
Really?
There's been two. Yeah, TV shows have two. But for this case, they call him a co-showrunner, but who does all the main showrunner interviews? And it's always Jeremy Carver.
Yeah.
So not to say Bob Singer has not played a vital role in a major capacity, but it does make you wonder what truly happened, because a lot of people are saying it's a demotion, but then Jim Michaels keeps saying it's not a demotion. He's just going another direction, which, you know, he's been on the show for 11 years, so maybe he wants to go another direction.
It very well could be that. I mean, he's clearly been a big part of the show from the get-go. I mean, Bobby, as a character named after him, the French Mistake episode that so many of us love, they even reference how you named yourself as a character.
Yeah.
Like, so he's clearly been a big part of it, but a decade is a long time to still do the same thing in this kind of industry, so maybe there is something to that. The cynic in me is a little bit more...
You mean the 99 percentile of
the
you?
cynic that is me.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
Is more concerned or worried about the fact that he posted a photo on Instagram that looks like the cage
for
an upcoming episode of Supernatural.
Spoiler alert. Just kidding.
I think people are used to that on the show.
Oh,
and if they listen to the
absolutely.
show live right now, they've already been devouring that.
Oh, take it easy.
No, but he posts a photo of that on Instagram, and then shortly after, Jim Michael tweets about the cage. Don't have one. Someone on our staff showed a cage for a magician Doug Herring special that was shot next to Supernatural Season 11.
Oh, yeah, huh?
And at the same, and the cynic that is me is like, okay, so Bob Singer sends out a tweet. He knows what he's talking about.
He posts on Instagram.
Instagram photo. He knows what he's talking about. He knows his show.
Yeah.
Then he's all of a sudden demoted, and Jim Michael is the one covering both the story break of the cage and saying, no, he's totally still. It was his own choice.
Full of shit.
See, the asshole Michael Flores that I am, if I was Bob Singer and I got demoted, I would post that exact same picture. See, that's what I'm thinking. He said, F you guys.
He got demoted, so then he posted it instead.
I'm going to post this motherfucking cage.
That would be interesting if, I don't know if anybody knows, but like get a timeline of when that Instagram post went up and when the tweet saying that he was no longer an executive producer went up, because whichever one's first, I think, directly led to the other.
Yeah.
If the photo was leaked, like, dude, what are you doing?
Look how Jim
You're
Michael.
boned. That's the world we live in, sadly.
But okay, also just look. Okay, Bob Singer's the one who posted the Instagram photo. Jim Michaels doesn't even address him by his name. He says
someone on our staff. Quote, what kind of condescending sentence is that if it's Bob Singer who did it?
Right.
That's what you do when you're pissed at somebody and they've just been kicked off the show.
Someone on our staff.
Bill the intern would even get more of a credit than quote someone on our staff.
Do you really, honestly though? He's been on the show forever. Do you honestly think just because he dropped that picture he would get booted?
No, I don't think it's because of the picture.
I think if the picture is part of it,
which it may not even be part of the show.
Which it may not be. This is just the cynic that is me being speculative and trying to start a riot. If that had something to do with it, that's the straw that the straw. What the hell is that?
The straw?
The straw that broke the camel's back. There's usually one thing somebody does before they get fired, but it had been this whole heap of other things.
Yeah, listen, it might have been, again, collaborative. He's such a major part of Supernatural. It doesn't mean there are CEOs that their business, their companies are taken from them when something's not operating to the standards of the shareholders.
Or just because.
All
the time.
Exactly. So just because Bob Singer is innovated and a big part of Supernatural doesn't mean someone didn't have a talk with them, say, look, we need to take this show down a different direction this season. We feel like maybe the seasons are getting stale. It's time to pump new blood. You and Carver have been running things for about 4+ years now, or 3+ years. Take a back seat. We'll get you a job on maybe another show down the road, whatever.
How many TV shows and movies have you seen? And again, this is all just speculation. Right. Have you seen where it's like a new boss comes in, they're looking to cut costs, there's somebody who's been around for a long time, they're close to their, retirement and or pension. They don't it's the old way of thinking, we don't need him anymore. We'll give him some cushy thing to go off and die in the corner.
Yeah, look at the flowers.
Oh, take it easy.
That happens that's the plot of a ton of movies.
Yeah.
And a ton of shows and books even. Like, it's not unheard of. Now, is that what happened? We have absolutely no evidence to say that.
And as a fandom as strong as this one, as close-knit, it's hard to even, because a lot of us love Bob Singer, so it's even hard for us to even see that as being a possibility. But this is business. It's very possible. It's very possible.
I don't know, man. I don't see a picture like that getting someone booted.
No, I'm not. You're still all stuck on that.
No, it's not just the photo.
I don't think that photo got him booted. I think
the photo it was the last thing.
It's probably him just being like, hey, I got demoted this year. Here you go. Here's a major spoiler. Guys,
it's
spoiler.
One of two things. It's either they were already thinking, somebody up above on the food chain was already thinking about it, and then he did it, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to use this as the bullet to put you down.
Just like an FU.
That's just so many jobs only take the one thing. Dude, it doesn't matter how many times you do something good. It's the one mistake that will condemn you in any job.
I'm like you, Mike. I would have walked up and took a fucking close-up of it after that. I'd have been like, oh.
Or it's that. He got moved.
I would have walked up and be like, oh, Mark Pellegrino. Oh, okay. And just took pictures of them and be like, oh.
Just a whole collage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's the whole season, guys.
Fuck you guys.
Just put everybody under the bus. Just drive over everybody.
He's all, fuck
Bob
you,
Singer takes
fuck
pictures
you.
of Jeremy Carver writing the episode as they're shooting. This is what he really does, guys. He writes the episode while we're actually shooting.
He's literally like, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, I'm out. Click, 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 click.
Yeah,
Pictures.
we're massively speculating
Oh
here.
yeah, this is all
That'd be awesome if it
smoke
were
and
true.
This
mirrors
is
right
Supernatural
now.
The Crossroads TMZ reports.
You should find news about this more on BuzzFeed later.
Now, from a positive outlook of this, let's say whatever the reasons may be, Bob Singer taking a step down. This could be a good thing in terms of, we all know that fresh blood is sometimes needed. New blood is sometimes needed to, not, again, I had no problems with the previous season. I'm one of those fans who will stick through Supernatural through thick and through thin. However, new blood is good. You know, so maybe this is going to make way for Carver running the show completely by himself as a showrunner and not having to share co-showrunner responsibilities, and maybe we might get something slightly better. Who knows?
Maddie just said in the chat room that the picture came after the tweet.
What do you mean? The picture
The
came...
photo on Instagram came after the tweet about him no longer being a part of it.
Yes.
So then it might be that whole,
yeah.
hey, fuck you then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiled your big mid-season
That's awesome.
finale. You know,
But someone also said it could be from Supernatural, but it could also be, you guys, Carla actually mentioned this on our Facebook page, that it doesn't have to be Lucifer's cage. It can also be, remember, guys, she said the darkness was also locked up. So it could also be some cage.
True, but I mean, with what happened in this episode,
yeah.
Not to mention there's a
And
lot
if you
of green
read,
screen
just
around
read the Instagram post, what that no one's going to think, oh, the darkness is cage. Everyone's talking about it being, you know, Lucifer and Michael's
the cage,
Yeah.
cap locks,
Right.
You know,
Quotations.
there's only one.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see if this ends up being the truth. Though is if this ends up being like the mid-season finale or shows up at all, I'm going to come back to this Jim Michael quote. He's like, no, it's totally not for Supernatural. It's a magician's box.
Yeah, Doug Henning.
He could also be trying to protect the interests of the show, you know, spoilers. Which
Absolutely.
I don't think would anyone blame him for that lie?
No, I wouldn't blame him, but I'd be like, you're full of shit.
Right. Well, that's if you read the tweet, all the responses to him, they're like, right.
Yeah,
You're like, right.
Okay. Okay.
Dude, I love that. The Supernatural fandom is so cynical, dude. Like, they're like, all the comments are just like asshole comments, like, yeah, right. Like, all of them.
Yeah.
Sure,
Sure thing,
sarcasm.
dude.
Sure, pal.
Sure, bro.
Maybe that's why they like us.
What are you smoking?
Yeah.
All right, guys, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into our discussion of Episode 2, Form and Void, in just a minute.
Oh, there's a crazy little shack beyond the tracks. And everybody calls it the Sugar Shack. Well, it's just a coffee
Don't go nowhere. Supernatural, The Crossroads will be right back.
All right, iHome. It's live retime, Ryan. Are you there?
I'm here.
All right, and it's just its first year. iHome has become the #1 brand in the iPod speaker market, and it continues to be #1 brand in the digital player speakers. iHome now offers full lines of alarm clocks, clock radios, portable speakers, and home audio systems. Rain Man Digital has teamed up with iHome to give our listeners a very special discount. Head over to iHomeaudio.com and at checkout, enter code RAINMAN. That's RAINMAN. RAINMAN at checkout to receive your special 20% off.
Nice spelling.
The Rain Man Show. The Rain Man Show.
And this is actually a conversation I had with our guy over at KROP. Is we talk no different than you probably talk amongst yourselves and with your friends. I guess they were offended by the word penis, hoping maybe Tony can look up the word penis online and find some suitable synonyms. Maybe something that we can replace penis with, because penis is already the medical term for your D. So I'm trying to figure out what is more suitable. Do we just pretend the word doesn't exist when we're talking news and talking things?
Are we about to pull an Austin Powers here
Yeah,
and come up with all the different names
Let's just
for it?
find a better name for the word penis. I mean, I was using the word penile for a while. No one got upset. They thought it was a river. But penile, isn't that Isn't that a river in the Egypt? The Penile, Moses split the Penile River, right?
The Rain Man Show on KROP AM 1300.
Previously on Supernatural: The Crossroads. Any other differences in musical selections on the Netflix version? Because that's going to hurt the Netflix streaming.
How many casual Supernatural fans
They probably won't notice.
really give a shit?
They won't notice
like,
this. If you're starting on season 1, you won't know any better, and that's what they're banking on.
If you don't notice, don't watch the show because you suck.
So all you listeners out there, if you're wanting to get into Supernatural, fuck you.
No, see, it is good to get started, but once you get started, if you've been watching from day one, or you know what the show feels like with the music, that's going to be a big deal to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be a big deal.
You know, and it's true. It changes the vibe. Music sets a huge tone for any movie, games, TV, you name it.
It sounds like film school music. You know, when you can't afford, you get out of film school,
generic,
and you get that friend who's like, I can produce all your music for you, buddy. Here you go. Just a nice little jingle.
You can have the rights and everything. It's the most generic.
Just give me
crap.
credit.
Sounds like elevator 8-bit music.
Give me screen cred and food, and I'll be good. Like, that's the kind of music they have.
Buy me ramen, and then we're good to go, man.
Can I have a place to sleep?
Give me some ramen and a reach around. We're all good to go.
That's
Not
pretty
necessarily in
expensive
that order. What kind of ramen? Chicken flavor or beef flavor?
Now that you have your soup, it's time for the other part of that deal.
Have you ever tried the fish ramen?
Tuna flavor.
Welcome back to Supernatural: The Crossroads. Now we're going to get into the discussion of Season 11, Episode 2, Form and Void. This one was directed by Phil. We always ruin his last name. Scruccia.
We looked it up, remember?
I know, but I always ruin it. I can't do last names.
Scruccia.
Remember?
Yeah, you suck at them.
And this one was also written by Andrew Dabb. Ryan, do you have a synopsis?
Sure.
For us?
While Sam continues to deal with rabbits, is that what we're calling it?
That's what the writers and everyone's calling them, the fandom, rabbits.
I'm going to call it rabies. So,
okay.
While Sam continues to deal with rabies situation in his own deteriorating state, Dean is called back by Jenna when baby Amara begins exhibiting dangerous traits. That's a good synopsis.
That actually is one. We've had how many terrible ones compared to
shitty ones
that didn't even have anything to do with the actual
it gets
episode.
right to the point.
Yes, absolutely.
Much like this episode, I liked the opening of this one a lot. They're just quiet, and there's dead bodies throughout.
Yeah, that was pretty creepy.
And that had a real subtle horror vibe to it, not just, somebody getting stabbed and the blood hits the screen, that we've seen a lot. This was a lot more
when
quiet.
You see a town and there's no one in the town, and then you start kind of panning and you start seeing bodies all over the ground, and the town is pretty much empty and there's just dead bodies everywhere, that's when it gets really, kind of creepy. And the thing that I couldn't quite tell is if the guy they open up with, the zombie or rabbits or whatever you want to call it, I couldn't tell if he was still kind of conscious on what was happening or if he was like completely gone, and that's what even made it creepier. Like it looked like he was like going through the town for the first time and just seeing everything for the first time. It was I know my feeling if I walked through a town that was like that, I would be fucking like, what the fuck?
It definitely fit what we've been talking about, the zombie vibe for that beginning.
Absolutely.
You go into a town, there's some dead ones, there's a couple, roamers or walkers, if
whatever
you want to call them.
Yeah.
And I loved the cuts to, which we didn't know at the time, but we assumed Sam, building something in a hardware store, just all these little pieces, MacGyvering
fucking MacGyver,
a taser.
It reminds us how intuitive or
innovative.
There's the word.
That's
because we don't see that a lot. Them do those things. Remember in the earlier episodes, we saw all the gadgets they used.
Yeah, they created the thing that told them if the ghost had been in the area.
Yeah.
The whatever, I can't remember. Why can't I remember the
but this reminds me
the spectral thing.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
The very early seasons. I mean, specifically, this episode reminded me. I think season 4, season 5. What was that? What season was that when Joe and Ellen died when they were in the town?
Season 5, episode 12.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember that the desolate city? The tone was just wasn't
unsettling.
Yeah, very unsettling.
Just by the silence, and I thought that spoke volumes in this episode. And like you said, Mike, I loved seeing how because we've always known Sam smart. He went to college. He's always been the smarter one, frankly, of the group.
But you don't learn to build an electric shocker in college, though.
No, that you find that on Google, dude. But the electric shocker is for something else.
Oh, God. That's old Ryan Google history right there.
So stupid.
No, but I like that bit that it shows him doing, like, coming up with out-of-the-box ways to try and cure or to solve his current crisis.
Ingenuity is the word I was looking for.
Rather than the traditional, like they'd even made reference to last episode, shoot first, ask questions never.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
You like that mentality?
I like that mentality.
Well, and it's something that this episode continued, which I'm glad they did, because sometimes in previous seasons we've seen them kind of forget things. And I like how they picked up immediately where we left off, even with where Sam's head was at. Sam wanted to cure himself, but ultimately, he wanted to cure others as well. And the fact that he was investigating trial by error, I'm wondering if this is the second guy or third guy or fourth guy.
I'm thinking it had to be like three or four, because there was a couple on the bed we saw later, and we don't know for certain.
And he made a comment, if you can understand me, that means you're not all gone yet or at some point.
And how do you know that?
Right.
Because you've done this a couple of times, I think.
Was it like the episode was almost split in half, it seemed like.
And I liked that a lot. I liked how, because there have been other episodes where they split it in half, but while one story is clearly more interesting than another, this one had, both stories had a lot going on, and each one mattered. Each time you came back to it, you're okay with it.
I do like the stories where you didn't feel like you were saying, you didn't feel you were hurting when you went away and you came back. And it wasn't like I missed anything. It was very, very right to the point. That almost felt like both of the stories were literally happening at the same time. There was no time loss at all, which I thought was really cool. You never really felt like you missed anything from Sam or Dean.
The pacing was really good on this one.
Absolutely.
There's other shows like Game of Thrones that has a bunch of different stories going on at the same time.
Right.
Some of them you'll be like, I care about this character, and now we have to deal with 15 minutes of this person I don't care for. This had just enough of both.
Right.
And I think I like Sam's I liked more. However, Dean's was just as important, but also a little just funnier.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dean's part of the story in this episode was more, this is going to progress the story of the season.
Right.
And Sam's was more, dealing with not telling Dean
big scale problem.
The big scale problem that's happening at the moment. So, I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I definitely agree. The pacing was very well done.
My favorite bit of Sam's, though, was how much new lore and coming back to old lore there was. This episode had a lot of scenes from the trailer that we thought would have been later, or with a different character.
Oh, yeah. I way messed up those speculations.
Yeah, you were off pretty hard, but
we've been
it was still
on speculations
good
lately.
Yeah, I have
every show we have.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad.
We're not clairvoyant. Well, shocker.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you got to remember some of the shows that we did earlier. We were fucking hitting.
Maybe
home
they
runs,
listened,
dude.
and now they're like, "Oh
they're
shit,
like,
let's
fuck
change
those
it."
guys." Yeah.
I think the biggest question that this week's episode. For this week's episode, the biggest question that really hit a lot of us, I think, was Sam's vision.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that
Favorite
was
part.
one of the most relevant items that the writers included in this episode because of a lot of reasons. A, it makes you wonder exactly who it was giving him these visions and where they were from, because a lot of people are saying, oh, it's God. But then why would God, after he prayed to God, why would he have visions of torment?
Well, that's the thing.
You know what I mean? I mean, it could be God. I'm not saying
totally
it's not.
bought into it being God, and here's why. He asks for help.
Right.
He says, we need a sign that there's hope. God is, in this universe, an incredibly lazy fuck.
Right.
He won't be bothered to do a lot, or he physically, or I guess supernaturally, can't do a lot. But the one thing, what happens immediately after that scene, he gets visions of the cage, or his time in hell. The only time Sam's been in hell has been in the cage, which to me, because of the story we heard from season 10, the darkness was put away by Michael and Lucifer and God and all his archangels. If to me that was God saying the answer is in the cage, the one place that you will stick in your head that has the only two people who have dealt with this before that are still around are in that location. So to me, and it was just vague enough for him to be like, what does that even mean?
It was
and God's
fucking creepy.
That was funny when Sam said that. Like, it was just frustration.
/ Rob Benedict's kind of like his dickish behavior. Well, You'll figure it out.
Well, from Super Wiki, it says the vision Sam had was likely of his time in Lucifer's cage in hell. Again, this is just speculation. Just because it was on Super Wiki doesn't make it fact.
But that's the only time he's been in hell, has been in the cage.
And it says Dean was also seen strung up by chains when he was in hell.
Yes.
Season 3, episode 16, No Rest for the Wicked. Also in episode 9 of season 3.
Ruby, in that episode, Ruby tells him how it's a lot like Hellraiser. Right.
Well, the thing is, the scene was very close. I mean, if you look at the two scenes, if you look at Dean's scene where he's hanging from the chains, they tried to replicate that.
I went back and watched it.
Yeah, they tried to replicate that pretty well with Sam. So, man, that scene was crazy.
I want to say I was really giddy when I saw that flashback. Like, first, I just loved that he was praying to God. After all these years, he's sitting down, making it a point to pray. And this is what I like about Sam. He didn't pray for himself. Which is what most people do. Most people pray for themselves in time of need. That's when people who don't pray, they pray when they need something.
Yeah.
When they're going through some serious shit in their life. I like how he sat down and he prayed for Dean and the other people they could help.
It was selfless.
Yeah.
Which has been Sam. I mean, that's the whole plot of him sacrificing himself at the end of season 5.
Yeah. He
really
would
give up his life.
Goes full circle.
For everybody else. Yeah. Which is something we've talked about on the show that eventually... It can't really have a truly happy ending.
Yeah.
If it does, it has to be really carefully executed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be.
But I mean, that's the only way that this story ends. It feels like for us.
Yeah.
So I love that scene because to me that was, God's little joking way of saying this is what you need to do.
Good luck.
I'm going to be a dick about it and not tell you. But I also liked the new lore we got in this, and that was when. Which I loved the Reaper singing the song. Not only because we used that
wasn't quite sure about that.
You didn't like that.
I didn't like her singing the song.
I liked that.
I liked her on the nose. I liked her singing it, but I felt like it was a bit
much.
A bit like, hey guys, I know you guys all like this song, and we're going to put it in. I didn't have I didn't ruin it for me. I'm not trying to cut you off. Explain why you liked it. Maybe you can win me over.
I liked it not because she's singing the song, but because I liked the whole idea of Sam's in this town that's infected with rabbits.
Right.
The whole opening scene is everyone's dead except for a couple wandering ones. I've liked a lot of the dark scenes that have happened around this hospital where we saw the car pull up in the previous episode and they come and they're walking in through the backlit from the headlights.
Yeah.
I like the idea that he's in there working on his own and then like a Silent Hill mindfuck out of nowhere someone starts singing in the hospital.
Yeah.
And he's got to go find it. That's creepy, and I liked that part. Not so much that she was singing, although the song was good. More of the fact that she was like deliberately fucking with him because she knew he'd hear.
Yeah.
Well,
and I like that kind of like putting yourself in Sam's shoes in that point. You'd be like, who the fuck? Because everyone else in this town is insane.
Right.
Or slowly becoming insane.
Right.
Who the fuck is singing?
I liked the singing. It was creepy as shit. I just think picking that song for her to sing was
She's a Reaper, though.
It was just too much, dude. Like, she could have sung. There were so many other songs she could have picked that would have been creepy.
I agree with the fact that with what Thomas is saying about the song itself, that it does add to the tone and the entire package of the scene. I think it delivered that scene and made it that much better. However, it would have been cool if, going with what Ryan said, if they possibly use maybe another song, just because that song is so well. It's almost like if someone decided to start singing, Wayward Son again. You know what I mean? Like, even though they've done it, it was different then. And if they do it now, it feels like contrived and
a little too meta.
Lip service a bit. Like, hey guys, we know you guys like this song. Here, we're going to put it in.
Here, let's blow you a little bit and play this. Have her sing this song.
I get that, but I felt like it fit.
That's what it sounded like to me.
That's what it sounded. What do you do in your spare time?
Way over the top. Way over the top.
Was that a little too much? Oh, well.
Yeah.
I liked it because she's a Reaper, and I was like, okay, I'll let that one slide because it already creeps me out.
The Reaper side of things I did like, and the fact that, and I think Maddie said this in the chat room, and I agree 100%, is it brought fear back to the Reapers. Because even though we all loved Death was a cool character, but he was one of the guys at this point. Like,
yeah, he was.
He wasn't someone you feared anymore.
Yeah.
Like, because you knew he liked the Winchesters to some degree. Or by, if you want to believe her words, she thought it was funny. He thought it was funny.
I loved that.
Yeah.
That Death's got a little bit of a macabre sense of humor.
Yeah.
And he already gets along with Dean pretty well for a human.
So the fact they brought fear, real fear, to the audience of the Reapers again, and not just because it was a creepy thing, but because of the lines that she delivered saying, look, there will be no escape from death again. Once you guys die, we're going to toss you into the empty. So there'll be no hell, there'll be no heaven. So we got new lore, the empty.
Yep.
Which I know we're going to probably explore that a bit more. In fact, I don't even care to explore it. Just if we don't even know.
It doesn't even need to be explored, really.
Not really.
It's something outside of time and space.
Yeah.
It's just nothing.
Yeah.
Which Supernatural's had all the other different religions put together in this show. And in a way, I mean, this may piss some people off, but I kind of thought it was a way to put like atheism or those who don't believe in anything into the same universe.
Yeah.
Because there is in this universe nothing as well. And for some reason you could go there too.
Yeah.
But I loved how this brought the stakes back for Sam and Dean.
Well, because what was the fear before in the early season? Hell.
Right.
Hell.
Then purgatory. Now the fear is the empty. And it's a real fear that's believable, and it doesn't feel contrived out of nowhere just to give us so they can raise the stakes for no reason.
It did seem it wasn't made up. It didn't seem made up the way she was telling him
she's
about
a great. I wish I knew the name of the actress. She delivered those lines remarkably. She was a winner for me on this episode.
I mean, she made it scary.
Yeah.
But I loved how, because I had talked to a friend who I've got to watch the show relatively recently. She's binged watched like the whole thing. She's almost at season 10.
Who is this person?
She's a friend, Mike. That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah.
Either way, she we've been talking about the show, and she says, she finished, I think, season 9. She's saying how there was no real threat to Dean becoming a demon. Like, she knew the demon part was cool, but for her, him dying, she's like, well, they're not going to die. The show's not over. There's another 2 seasons. So what is that? There was no threat to that anymore.
Right.
And like you just said, like in seasons 1 through 5, it was hell or the apocalypse or what have you. No soul is apparently something that can happen. Is it gone forever? There was always something else. And since season 8, we had pretty much been everywhere, done it all, seen it all. So I liked how this was, you guys are not getting a 15th chance.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
So you better not fuck it up.
Yeah, and it does make it feel a bit more real to us, knowing that that's a possibility. It makes it feel like
seasons 1 through 5 again.
Yeah.
Where you could die and then that's it. Like so many other characters. Because that also brings to light, some people were like, well, why don't we just bring Charlie back? Yes, we've talked to that at length, but I like the idea that you just wouldn't bring everyone back and that Sam and Dean were special for whatever reason because of the Winchester, Chronicles or the Book of Winchester in season 4 that Castiel talked about. They never had stakes anymore. Yeah. I like that now.
Yeah, I just it definitely gave it a finality. Like, if you die again, you're done. Mm-hmm. But in the back of my mind, being a Supernatural fan, it's like, sure,
true,
sure. So you die. But then somehow, if you do die, we'll find a way to get you back.
But to me, with death gone, the archangels locked up or dead, heaven against them, and Crowley not really giving too much of a shit,
and us coming to an end,
and coming to the end of the show, the only person who could save them from the empty, in my mind, then would have to be God.
But it almost felt like God could even save them. That's why she didn't want to put him, because he could save him if they're in hell. They can save him if he's in heaven, but hey, we put you in the empty. There's no coming back from that.
Because we've seen in this universe that God is not, he may be all powerful, but he has a lifespan, according to Death.
Right.
I don't know if we can trust Death anymore, because we didn't talk about that line from last week when the darkness says, "I've never heard of this death." We forgot to talk about that. So I'm wondering if the death is even relevant. Is he even truthful in some of the things he's talking about? Is he playing games with? Yeah, right.
And that's the other thing. If Death doesn't, or if the darkness doesn't remember Death, or doesn't know, has no concept of who he is, which means the darkness predates Death.
Right.
So then you get into this whole chicken and egg, which came first?
Right.
How did anything exist beforehand? Was God around with the darkness?
Unless the darkness just heard the story secondhand as well. Because I assume when he was telling the story, he was there, he knew of this battle.
That's what I assumed as well. Yeah. Or maybe he just heard, God and him were chilling one day. He's like, dude, let me tell you this story.
Or the darkness is Death, and the Death that died was the replacement.
Was a vessel.
That's terrible.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, what's up?
That's so bad.
Did you write? Are you writing? Did you submit
that to the fan fiction?
See, I write all the shitty
writing staff.
No, I write all the shitty synopsis that we get.
There we go.
Okay, getting back to this Reaper thing, but another element that made it more real and expanded the world of Supernatural so much is, for the most part, Supernatural is based in biblical lore.
Right.
Okay. And with the Reapers with this episode, as we've been seeing throughout the years, that they're willing to step out of that biblical lore, the biblical mythology, and step into a greater arena, to showing that there's a lot more going on. And the fact that the cosmic forces are upset with the Winchesters and now willing to take things into their own hands and say, this is enough, no more. If the Reapers are fed up
and the angels are fed up,
then who else is fed up? Who else is good? Who else do we not know?
Well,
when you
who's
think
left
about
that's
it,
alive?
these guys are teacher's pet. That's what they are. Everybody hates them.
Hunters hate them from starting the apocalypse,
and the Reapers want to bring balance to the
Reapers
cosmos.
Hate
almost,
them. The angels hate them. The demons have always hated them. They've killed the Sisters of Fate. They've killed Death. God's MIA.
They've killed everyone.
Leviathans are gone. The mother of all monsters, Eve, is dead because of them. The fabric of reality has been damaged by them.
Exactly. How much damage have they done to the cosmos and to the balance of nature and whatnot?
And in some ways, you could argue that had the apocalypse happened, like Zechariah wanted,
right,
there would have been less death at this point. Maybe not less death on a global scale, but less threats. The darkness would never have been set free. All the angels would never have been kicked out of heaven or lost their wings. Metatron wouldn't be, well, he'd probably still be as much of a dick, but he wouldn't be as powerful,
as a powerful
Rowena wouldn't have gotten all this super magic that we haven't seen yet, but we know she has the ability of. If she can just click and turn an angel crazy,
right?
One of the more powerful, beloved ones in the eyes of God, because he's brought him back a couple times, according to what we know as fans. What else can she do? But I also liked how, with more lore, and the little clue she gave Sam, that you're unclean,
right,
in a biblical sense, and that he then, I liked how that tied into him figuring out a cure, and it wasn't just some throwaway, and it wasn't he just I googled it and there it was.
I do want to say that in the first episode, I noticed Dean put they made it pretty obvious the holy oil in the bag, and I'm thinking to myself, when he did that, I'm like, why the hell would they focus on showing you that, that jug?
Everything's done for a reason.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I mean, I noticed that in the first one, so it was kind of cool to see that kind of come back.
Did you guys think he was going to actually burn himself with it?
I thought he was going to touch himself with it. I thought he was for sure it was going to burn. Yeah, he was going to have to burn himself.
That's going to catch his hair, and he's going to just go up in flames.
Oh, there goes the locks, ladies.
I know, sad.
Yeah, I thought for sure he would burn his face, but then he couldn't.
I liked how he didn't have to, because that would have been that would have been a real test of faith right there in some ways. That
burning
you could have
yourself, yeah.
Will the holy oil truly burn you? Or will it just burn the darkness? How much do you have faith?
God, you're fucking deep tonight.
Yeah. It's true.
I liked that idea. But I mean, it's also
almost like Indiana
harder.
Jones, walking on the invisible bridge.
Last Crusade, yeah.
A penitent, is that penitent man?
Yeah.
The one, now question for you guys. Death is dead. I mean, Billy has pretty much said that.
Yes.
Oh, Billy.
Which sucks in so many ways, because he was such a great character. Do you guys think another Reaper, maybe Billy, could assume the role?
So a Crowley scenario?
A Crowley scenario.
I don't know, because death was ancient. Can someone just come in and fill the role of...
I'm sure they're going through applications right now. And
Lucifer and Azazel were around from, or at least Lucifer and Lilith from the beginning. And Crowley took the role because there was a void to fill. Castiel and Raphael, during their civil war, took the role after Michael was gone. There's always been someone, whether they're worthy or not, they've always filled that role.
Yeah.
Maybe not Death, but head Reaper now.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting if Billy became it, because she's already against them, but maybe not that against them, because she gave him a bit of a clue. Was that intentional or a slip of the tongue, or who knows?
I don't think she was trying to help them. I think she wanted them dead. She wanted to bring balance to the force.
But then why did she give him a clue on how to get rid of it?
Well,
that was
did
a
she or
clue.
was that an accident?
I think she was just speaking, and I don't think it was intentional. I don't think why would she go immediately say, look at these, your days are numbered. My boss thought you guys were, clowns and thought it was funny. And then meanwhile, let me give you a massive clue. I think it was just, her talking.
Here's something that
Sam connected the dots.
None of us even put together, but Charlie in the chat said Death was a horseman, which we totally spaced that maybe he's different than the Reapers in some way.
Yeah,
they're his minions, but maybe not like they don't become a horseman.
It's not yellow.
But maybe, and I'm not saying like somebody will become the new Death and get the new scythe and
just
stuff like that.
Just someone taking control.
But
just
somebody
like Crowley didn't become the devil.
He's not the devil. He's the quote king of hell.
Yes, I get what you're
he's
saying.
in charge now.
Yeah.
Which also, did the scythe get destroyed? Does anybody remember?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Where the hell is that? If they,
it's just hanging out.
Like we said, that was like the best weapon. Then like left it in some diner.
Dude, it's in the bar and they got it hung above the fucking fireplace.
Right next to the deer's head.
Yeah.
It's like Shaun of the Dead.
I killed my first deer with that sumbitch and scythe right there.
I just see it like Shaun of the Dead. No, that's the real death scythe. It'll kill anything. And then like the darkness apocalypse happens. Some guys drunk at the bar grab it and start killing things.
God.
All right, so taking it back really fast to Sam finding a cure.
Bam.
Another thing that I like about that is it ties it back into the episode where obviously Sam's, I don't know if his main story arc will be about wanting to get back to the basics and saving people, but he did make it a point. He gave that speech to Dean that he wanted to focus on the basics. He wanted to save people again. And he did. And I like that. Not only did he find the cure for himself, but what did he do immediately afterwards? He called the other rabbits in and made a point to cure them. And even if it was for us, obviously the writers did that intentionally to show us that Sam's following through on what he stated. And I think that I actually hope that's a major part of this season. I know we've seen it done before, but it would be nice this far in the game, 11 years in, when we've saw them, they don't care less anymore about vessels. They just they stab, destroy, and I think they've kind of lost their way in the whole grand scheme of things. And rightfully so. You're fighting for your life.
Sometimes you don't have the ability.
Right. You're defending the earth, so to speak, against the apocalypse. You're trying to do all these miraculous things to human beings. So you start finding that gray area, but it would be nice to see Sam kind of start going to that original Sam, the original archetype of Sam.
It'd be nice. It would show that he's still there. And it's something that love him or hate him, Carver has done. Has been bring the show at seasons 8 through 11. Tied it back to Kripke's reign, where
he's used a lot of the old stuff.
Some things from before still matter. I mean, I got that vibe when we saw Amara as a baby in the crib. All I could think was season 1, Sam telekinetic baby in a crib. Something bad's gonna happen in this house. Somebody hit the roof again in this house.
And we don't need to see Sam like saying it again in a speech, and just
he just needs to be doing
just
it.
Have the writers show him do it.
Show it, don't tell us.
And we will understand. He's already said it once. We saw him cure people, and just make it a little bit of part of the season, just so that it was worth. And there's a payoff to that speech he said to Dean.
And not only would it fit Sam as a character from over a decade, but it's a good example of how the writers don't have to use exposition.
Absolutely.
And just show us. Like that whole scene when he saves the people, not a word is said, but we understood everything about it.
Exactly.
Both from a storyline standpoint and as Sam as a character, which is one of the main tenements of film and TV is you should be able to watch something without sound and know what's happening.
Right.
And that was a perfect scene for that.
Absolutely.
The other big half of this episode, I think if we're ready to move on to that, Dean, Crowley, and Amara / the Darkness. Now, I loved, I mean, I'm sure you guys do. What was your favorite little joke from this episode? Ryan, what was your favorite one-liner? Because there was a couple really good ones in this.
Honestly, it had to be, and I'll be honest, it had to be Crowley when he's talking to Dean and he says, he was quite the most
scrumptious altar boy.
Well, back up just a moment. Back up just a moment before, when we called a priest. And you walk in and he's just sipping tea, Crowley, and then he says, you guys know each other? And then he utters that line. That just made it right there. Because I was already laughing when he was already sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing is Crowley's one of the few characters that all he did was sipping tea. at the table, and I just started laughing. I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" Like, of course. Well, and we knew he was going to be there from the trailer.
Seeing him in the fucking, the
father,
the priest
tag.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it's called.
Who cares? The white collar.
The white collar.
Yeah, the priest collar. Whatever. But yeah, just seeing him sitting there and just so smug as fuck, holding that thing of tea, dude. Just one finger up.
Hey, Dean.
Oh,
What's
hey,
up?
how's it going, buddy?
Yeah, took you this long to get here, kind of attitude. That was my favorite joke / line.
Absolutely.
I was dying.
You know what I did like about this Crowley, though? Is not only he was back on his game, of course, with his humor, but he was also back on his game where he immediately picked up where his little F you to Sam. Listen, I'm not going to play around with you guys anymore. He's back in the business. He's going to try to get darkness on his game.
Yeah.
So he's not slowing up. This is no more morose. I'm going to sit and wallow in my cave
his
of wonders.
Mom's not around anymore.
Yeah, this is about him getting back to business. I don't think we've seen this Crowley for a couple years now.
Probably since the end of season 8.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Nice to see him getting back to the, not the evil, mean Crowley, but let's worry about power and control and
the planning ahead and how does this benefit me?
Yeah.
And me first, Crowley, which was season 7 and 8, I think. 6 was definitely more of like a villain, and at the end of 8 through 9, he was like all that. Is he kind of human now? Is he mopey? And then his mom shows up, and he's like emotional. And we talked at length about that and how she had an effect on him throughout the whole season. I did like seeing him back to, Crowley classic in
Crowley.
So many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. He Crowley 1.0. I mean, that's exactly what he is. He's back to his old self. He's back to not, I don't want to say helping them, but fucking with Sam and Dean. Like just kind of,
Well, like when he first got Dean to get the mark, he knew what he was doing the whole time.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, not to this extent, but
someone said,
either way.
Stop haunting me, said chess player Crowley.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, we start out with Dean and what was her name? Jessica?
Who?
The girl, the cop.
Jenna,
thank you.
Yeah.
Showing up at, Mom's house on the farm, which we all knew that was not going to last. I honestly didn't trust the grandma.
Yeah, she had a creepy vibe. She had a
grandma was
You go
creepy.
take a nap, I'll take care of the baby. I'm like, How many people have been possessed in this show that I'm just supposed to trust automatically?
Yeah, she was creepy.
She's a grandma, dude. Grandmas are creepy.
Are they? My grandma's not creepy.
Well, your grandma lights Holy Santos candles.
My grandma from Mexico is creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Mama Teto, yeah.
Mama
She's
what?
Pretty. Yeah, Mama Teto is pretty spooky.
Does she like...
She does voodoo and shit.
Oh, man. Typical.
I'm just joking.
And I liked in this episode the little touches of one line earlier in the episode that comes back around later, whether it's you're unclean in a biblical sense, and Jenna saying to Dean she likes you. He's like, I have a way with chicks.
Yeah.
Chicks dig me or whatever.
You're unclean in a Magic Johnson sense.
Oh my god! Where the fuck did that come from?
What?
In a Magic
Oh my god! What kind of level of offense did we just hit with
Were
that?
you just thinking of that the whole show?
No, that just hit me, dude, just now. I just, the unclean. He said unclean, and I thought, oh, well.
Anyway, I liked how he says, chicks dig me, and it shows that Amara automatically likes Dean, where she cries with every other human around him, around her.
Do you think she's cognizant? Like, do you think she?
Oh yeah, she knows what's
at
going
that
on.
age.
Yeah,
look who's talking Supernatural.
Who else can spell feed me as an infant?
Is it the baby or is it like presence within the baby? But it seems like it is the baby because
Amara
she's growing up.
Is the darkness? What in my mind, this is how I see it. The darkness infused itself or consumed this baby as was being born. Like we said, the Ghostbusters 2.
It aborted the original baby.
Whatever soul was there was sent back, and the darkness took over.
I'm telling you, look who's talking Supernatural.
The darkness is a new contraceptive.
Oh god! No, because you still have a
Magic
kid.
Johnson doesn't
It's just
know
now
about
no
that.
longer your kid.
Yeah, but
would you have to pay child
it'll
support?
grow up in 5 days. Just feed him some souls. You don't have to worry about it.
Oh. Then, hey, it'll hit 18, then you can be rid of it.
What does child support look like then? Like,
No,
I
dude,
bought you another child.
Dude, you pay child support for like 3
No, but
days,
you don't buy
and then you're
food
good.
with that. Do you like adopt other kids and then just like feed it?
Oh.
Whatever. But I like. I think that Amara is that baby, and that baby, I guarantee,
I
will
agree with
grow
that.
up to look like the vision Dean had in the beginning of the show. That's what she's going to look like as an adult.
Yes, we established that in the first show when I said that lady was cast as
I've heard some people ask like what she's going to look like,
right?
Or will she look like the souls she's eaten?
Google fans.
It's going to be the vision we saw, the adult version of the darkness. But I definitely got a season 1 vibe with the baby first in the crib with like the telekinetic power, and she knew what she was doing. Her hands moving, the thing tumbles over. She spells out "feed me,"
which was creepy,
creepy as hell. Especially even for the show.
I thought she wanted formula.
All right,
no, she wants souls.
I'll get you some formula, sweetie.
Oh my dude!
Wait, I didn't mean. Wait,
oh my god!
I didn't mean it like that.
It doesn't matter. It's you. Everyone else thinks you're talking about it like that.
Okay, right. How else did you mean it?
I meant like get her formula, not like
Oh my god!
I'm serious.
A baby.
That's a whole new level of low. What the fuck?
I think he's just saying shit because he's bored over there. Jesus.
Maybe.
Now, what did you guys think when she first? Because when Jenna first comes down, I thought the darkness had body swapped,
which I would have been pissed because that would have been Vessel.
I would have been so angry, dude.
I originally thought that, and I was kind of like, really? She's taken over? Why? And then when you find out Crowley's perfect line of she doesn't have a soul, I was like, oh.
Yeah, see, I'm
fuck.
I'm happy that they didn't. She didn't possess her body because that would have just. I'm with Mike, dude. That would have really been like, oh fuck, man. Here we go.
Ashley in the chat room says, or the baby's soul was the darkness' first meal.
Ooh, there you go.
But then would it be a vessel? It's kind of is a vessel. It's kind of like Rosemary's Baby almost.
It's not so much a vessel as it is. This is truly what it is.
It isn't a possession.
It's incarnate. It's not a possession.
Yeah.
That is its form.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
but it could be the baby. Could have been.
Could have been. That would be a good setup. That would make a lot of sense too for how it started.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you right now, dude. When she comes down and she fucking slits her grandma's throat, I was like, wow.
I kind of felt bad for the grandma.
Nah, she was old, dude. She was gonna die anyways.
Oh my god,
Ryan!
What is horrible person today? No, I like today's any different than any other day.
I don't even know what to say.
I agree, though. I thought, Grandma's like, yeah, come on over. We'll take care of the kid. We'll catch up. We'll have a good time. And next thing you know, you brought a demon baby to the house. There's some exorcist who diddled Dean as a child, according to Crowley's story, in your house now, and then you get your throat cut.
I'm wondering why. Okay, so Jenna, see, this is where, so you get your soul taken away, you become some evil person.
That was one thing that I had an issue with.
Do you just, if you don't have a
Sam
soul,
wasn't evil, he just didn't care
of the consequences.
Or she didn't care either. She said she wanted to.
But
she always wanted to do
always
that.
wanting to do it means she cared. Want is something that you would do based on an emotion, which if you have no soul, you have no emotion. Sam's only motive ever was the end goal. How do I catch this monster? Bait. What's available? This dude. Fair enough.
Right. So maybe Jenna
wanted
maybe
to do
she
it.
was a bad person deep inside, and when she didn't have her soul, that's what she chose to do.
Maybe. Base emotion. There was no emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of was a
she
gray
was hotter
area.
though when she was evil.
Oh yeah.
Well, they usually
that's
are.
the first time I knew. That's the first time I knew she was something was up because she walks down with that sway. I'm like, oh, you're hot. All of a sudden, what happened?
Man, he's like time
that
to
evil confidence.
Yeah,
that's what you like to Abaddon too, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
that's not the only reason. Why
only
not the only
evil
reason.
women.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Evil women,
ladies.
Yeah.
If you're evil, call me.
They'll let you slit his throat.
No, but that was one question I had because I'm like, I was a little perturbed about that, but it was also a way to cross off those two characters and get rid of quote witnesses.
Right.
You know,
we don't need new. We don't need
people at this point.
We don't need new blood with characters. With all what's going on right now, we didn't. Even though I liked her, I felt like if we kept Jenna around much longer, it would have just gotten stale.
I would have gotten annoyed.
Yeah,
I think,
and I don't think we wanted a happy ending. Like, okay, so long, guys. Like, see you next week. Like a Lisa ending. Or you never really knew what happened to her. It's just like it's over and done.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm okay with her death. It was good.
Yeah, she gone.
But I liked. Jesus Christ!
What?
I liked Crowley and Dean kind of working together in the beginning, but Crowley, like we've said before, and the chat said, the ultimate chess player. He wanted the darkness for himself, and how do I use this to benefit me? But I liked. Now, did you guys think Dean was actually going to go like attack the baby, or more like grab it and protect it from Crowley?
I never once thought that Dean was going to go and like try to take out the baby. I thought he was. I thought for sure he was trying to protect it and maybe in his mind probably find a way to fix it. I mean, once he notices the mark, on the baby, I think it all hits him kind of right there.
He
like
kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
I'm wondering. I don't think Dean can kill it.
That's the thing. Because with the mark, can you?
She said they're connected, and I'm wondering if he. I'm not saying he doesn't even realize it yet, but let's say he did try to kill her. I'm wondering if maybe he can't.
Like physically can't,
like
or even if he did,
like,
because it's
there's
him,
like a
she won't
physical
die.
block or a mental block, a psychological block.
Something.
I mean, there
something
are
that
clinics
prevents
that
them.
can do that.
They're what?
Nothing.
God damn it, Ryan.
So that's where I'm going with this. It's maybe
there's going to be some reason.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it'd be pretty sad to see Dean slay an infant.
Well,
even
you can't show that on TV.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
well, even the idea of it, no matter how evil the baby was, I think it might. I think a lot of people would be like,
that's too much, dude. You can't show that on TV.
Yeah.
Although, and I liked, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Crowley's kind of back to being evil, and him versus Dean. Now, I didn't think Dean would kill Crowley right there, but I did like how at the end of this episode, Crowley had the upper hand. He knew where the kid was going, or followed her based on just because like you said, he could feel the power level of that child.
Over 9,000.
Charlie in the chat room says Dean was almost gentle when he closed the baby's sleeper after finding the mark. Yeah,
there's something about
it's protective.
Their relationship. Yeah, he's like the guardian.
And yes, it is a baby, and I think anybody might hold the baby in that way, but I think they're bringing it out intentionally. I think the writers and the way the camera's capturing the movement, it's done intentionally.
Yeah.
To see that there's some type of thing there, a kinship or a guardian, like what you said. You know, guardianship.
He's been chosen for whatever the hell.
Because he had the mark.
Because he's the chosen one.
It's going to be interesting to see where it progresses, because obviously the darkness isn't, we kind of said, is this just an ambivalent force? Is it truly evil? But then we saw at the end how she's ready to consume another soul. I mean, if you're taking people's souls.
But they said that, does the darkness know it's evil? In its mind, maybe it's just hungry and it eats souls, therefore food.
And she didn't know what people were, right?
We eat animals.
There were no people around when she was around.
Not to our knowledge.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago, yeah.
Because darkness was before Leviathans. Leviathans were before humans.
Yeah.
So, and if she does, she's eating cattle for her, it's no different than how we eat animals today. We'd be considered evil if they were sentient.
Yeah.
But I liked Crowley's creeper van.
Oh, that was the best
just
part.
Rolling up, all black.
So creepy.
Ryan has a van like that.
He does, yeah.
I do? I don't remember
close
buying
enough.
that, but apparently
when Crowley rolled up in the Chomo van, I started laughing. I'm like, oh my God, this had to have been done on purpose. And then when he says, hey, little girl, you want some candy? I'm like, yep, there you go.
That was your best. That was your favorite line?
I was laughing my ass off at the end, man.
He just memorized that line. He says it a lot.
It was just so perfect. It was just so perfect. It just fit the scene. It fit Crowley's playful demeanor this episode. It just worked. It worked really well.
Yeah. Guess we'll move on to the last little bit of the episode. Castiel and him being tortured and interrogated, and Hannah's showing up and then not ever showing up again.
I am going to go out and say that I actually did not care for Castiel's parts in this.
You didn't care for it?
And it's not that I didn't care about what was going on with Castiel. I don't know, man. I don't know if it was the two extra angels and just the way...
them being dicks?
Yeah, I just really didn't... I mean, I care about Castiel. I could have done, honestly, without it in the episode. Well, because all I really cared about was what was going on with Sam and Dean. And I hate to say that because I am a huge, Castiel fan.
It's not so much that you don't care about Cass, it's that the other two stories were
a little more
captivating.
Important. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think some of that comes from, this episode had a ton of new lore with Sam, the new enemy, and all that Crowley moments.
I thought the scene with Castiel was just icing on the cake.
I liked it a lot.
Yes, we could have. I think the episode would have been fine without it, and we could have skipped that until maybe next episode. But I would have liked to have seen it. I mean, that's the progressive state that they're giving Castiel, and also it gives. Listen, you got to remember, we've always say this. Castiel, he has full power now, okay? Technically. This is a nice little creative way for the writers to conveniently wrap him away. He's in danger.
Yeah.
He has a spell on him, and now he's imprisoned by other angels, and he's going through that. That's just an extra two episodes now. We've managed to keep him away from Dean and Sam so that he doesn't come in and save the day in some way.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a nice way to keep him away.
It's kind of dumb that once again, when Cass is at full power, he can't be called upon for help. Yeah. But like Mike said, at least it makes sense.
It's either that or get rid of him.
It makes sense.
You can't have full power Crowley.
You can't. Or Cass.
Or, Cass. You can't have full power Cass. I mean, I guess maybe with the darkness in play, I guess it won't matter as much.
It fits much better this way based on the way Season 10 ended and what they're doing with him versus Season 7 where they're just like, he's gone. He's kind of dead. I don't know. Don't ask questions.
And something that I liked about the scene as well is I liked the relationship between him and Hannah a lot.
I like that part, but I will say I understand Ryan and some other people going on, like, because Cass is being interrogated by angels who are dicks. We've kind of seen that already.
Yeah.
Compared to the other two stories going on. For me, that was a little more boring because they're doing the whole, give us the answer.
Yeah.
Here's the truth. I'm not going to believe you either way. Stab. Only when Hannah shows up was I then more invested in it.
Absolutely.
Well,
I think I would agree with that.
But that was the point. That was the betrayal. The fact that Castiel found out that Hannah was playing him and was allowing these angels to torture him. And this is somebody who he
considered a friend, maybe more.
Yeah, a very close friend. They've developed a very strong relationship together. She's probably, arguably, one of the last angels that actually liked him. And I thought it meant a lot for the people who do care about Castiel's scenes in the show. I think it mattered a lot for Castiel's development as just a character.
Yeah.
To see that type of betrayal, and then not only that, she dies or he dies. I don't really know what.
Shim?
Still she.
Shim dies?
No, it's still she because he still refers to as Hannah.
Yeah, that was just so weird.
So if angels are, I know I'm going to get it wrong, whether it's gender or sexuality, if they are one of those, it's still Hannah. It still has he knows her.
A lot of times they say it's ambiguous, but then they have guy names and girl names.
Ezekiel,
so I'm like,
Hannah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously there is, let's say it doesn't matter what they are, but obviously one of the angels identify more with a certain earthly gender, right?
Right.
They've got to be by the names they choose, not the names they choose, but like the vessels they choose.
It has something to do.
It has to.
It has to.
I don't know. Again, maybe we're just reading into it too much, but I don't know. I mean, boy, girl, who cares?
Yeah, I don't think it really matters.
No, it doesn't. But I agree with Mike that I was surprised because we've talked about Castiel's story and how in season 10 it felt like him maybe sacrificing himself for the good of Claire would have been the end to his story, a place where we could, him trying to bring Dean back from literally like the edge of the darkness to the group, to the fold.
Right.
That would have been a good place for him to end as a character. It's interesting that they were still able to have something happen to him that hadn't really happened before. Yes, Metatron betrayed him, but was he ever really a friend or anyone to be trusted? No. This was a friend. That's when betrayal really matters, when it's somebody you trust close and know and you care for. And that's who Hannah was, and she
backstabbed him.
And maybe not for dickish reasons. She still was trying to do the right thing, but she did sacrifice him in many ways to get what all the angels wanted, which makes me think about angels more and how much they don't care who's in charge. Yeah. They are so finicky because in season 8 and 9, they're like, totally on board the cast. Like 8, they hate Cass. 9, he's their leader again. Now they hate him again.
It's a fucking roller coaster ride, dude.
Yeah.
Maddie in the chat room says genderless. Charlie says they refer to brothers. They refer to themselves as brothers and sisters, which that is true. Dancing Muffin says the names were picked on them by humans.
Placed on them.
I missed a word there. I can't see. And then what gender is Castiel? In question. I guess it's sparking some debate.
Misha gendered. That's what Charlie said.
VW000 clearly have a gender as they refer to each other as brothers and sisters. So
I would think you'd have to, because otherwise it would just be my fellow angels or something along those lines. It'd be one pronoun.
In the grand scheme of things, I think it's very ambiguous. Yes, they may may have a masculine or a feminine side of things that they may identify more with as an angel, Again, we're really picking this apart. I don't think the writers even thought about this much.
They didn't.
But, who knows?
And it truly doesn't matter because they're not...
it doesn't matter because the character that played Hannah...
Yeah.
Remember, we made jokes about the Crowley woman, how we didn't really like the woman that played Crowley because there was no Crowley. This actor does a good job portraying Hannah's mannerisms that we learned that we not like he's no Marlon Brando, but he did a good enough convincing job. It felt like Hannah was talking. It did feel like he was talking through him, and that's what I appreciate from the acting side of things. To see that when an actor can actually jump in and play, whether it be feminine or male, the role that is fitting to what the character we originally saw.
Like with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Yellow Eyes, and then the true version of Yellow Eyes being the same vibe of a character, despite who played it.
Yeah,
and that's definitely one thing that I don't know the actor's real name, but who played Hannah in this episode definitely got across. Now, I was a little sad to see her die so quickly, but it also kind of made sense to me. It was sad because the way Hannah's story had ended beforehand was a nice little closing of the book, a good end to her character, but at the same time I was okay with this one only because it felt more like real life. Not everyone gets a nice closing little chapter. Sometimes death just happens, whether it's an accident or directly your fault, even.
Or a fucking blade goes through the back of your head.
Well, not exactly that every day, but people just die. Sadly.
Yes.
You can't control it. There's not always a final speech at the end, like Dean and Sam at the end of season 9. I'm proud of us. Sometimes they're just gone and you don't get that goodbye. And the last thing, despite that she tried to save him, their last memory is still she betrayed me. Yeah, she tried to save me, but how much of that is going to bleed into future memories?
Yeah. And the emotional impact it's going to have on Castiel. Not only was he betrayed by someone, but then she died
for him as well. And now he also killed 2 additional angels again. So no one's going to come help him not hurt
Well, not
anybody.
only that, he's already made a point saying he's done killing angels. He's done with the bloodshed. So the fact that he keeps falling into it, I'm sure it's going to affect him emotionally. But also this leads to a whole other thing, like where, angels are after Metatron. Are they even in the know yet about the darkness?
No, Hannah was the only one who knew, and then she died.
Yeah.
Remember, she was like, the darkness is a story. He's like, no, it's not. All these alarms that haven't gone off in, quote, ever.
We don't know what she said we don't know what they are.
They don't know what it is.
Yeah.
The only ones who knew were original generation angels and archangels.
Yeah, so they're
2 of which are dead and 2 of which are in the cage, which again leads us to think Sam's vision.
So they're scrambling because they possibly think Metatron has something to do with
Metatron did something dumb. Where's Cass? It's always his fault.
Metatron isn't responsible for this one.
Yet.
Do you think what type of part is he going to play with this darkness? Do you think he has no power? He just has the smarts and the wits.
Metatron is not the person. Okay, his major plan from season 9 fell apart. Metatron is a coward as well, with no grace. He is the guy who's going to wait until everyone beats the living shit out of each other.
Look, dude.
And then he's going to come in, kick them all down, and grab the trophy. He's that kind of guy to wait until the opportune moment to strike. He's kind of like Crowley in that way, except way more of a dick.
Dude, he is in the wrestling universe. He's the Money in the Bank. He's the guy that waits till the champion is on the fucking ground, knocked out, and cashes his money in the bank and pins the dude for the fucking championship. That's what Metatron is doing. He's waiting and waiting until someone's fucking knocked out, and then he's gonna run in and fucking
I think
control.
Metatron leads on to knowing more than he actually does.
Oh, yeah,
he knows
full
a lot,
of shit,
dude.
I think he knows a lot, but I also don't think he knows as much as he likes to lead on.
The true chess player, like Crowley, acts dumb.
Yeah.
The one who's arrogant and doesn't have anything is bluffing is Metatron.
Yeah.
That's just his personality. So I think he's just going to go dark for a while.
Right.
Until everything blows over.
Yeah, because he's not an archangel, so he doesn't know about. He wasn't around when the darkness was around.
He might be only because he's the scribe, so he might know about it.
I'm sure he knows about it, but I mean, that doesn't mean he knows how to deal with it.
Oh no, probably not. And even if he knows, he's not going to tell anybody. And B, he's not going to be able to do it.
He wants the destruction of mankind as well. He says he wants to kill everybody.
Humans, yep.
So
now he does because he's a dick like that.
Yeah, so he may not even care. He might help him.
Be careful. That's Mike's favorite character.
I do like Metatron.
Yeah. And Dick Roman and all those assholes.
True.
Yep. They're just like Mike.
You want to just do final thoughts, or
Yeah, let's get into the reviews on rating. Who wants to go first this time?
Mike, you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's go with Mike.
I'm winging it here, so let's see here.
Oh, wow, you're going to pull a Ryan here.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Strong episode. I'm going to give it an A. I felt the writing was tight and neat. Once again, the second episode of the year is better than the premiere itself. That happened last year as well.
Yeah, it did.
I almost felt like they could have used this episode, scrap a few things here and there, and they could have used this episode, take a few things from last episode, and then connect them with this episode, and it would have been a better, stronger premiere that would have, I guess, made the fandom a little bit more happy, felt a little more satisfied, because you come out with a premiere that was kind of lackluster, and kind of puts a bad taste in everyone's mouth, and then we have to wait to the second week to feel, and unfortunately we're a bit entitled as Supernatural fans. We've invested 11 years, and I guess that might be the wrong way of looking at it, but that's reality. That is how we tend to look at things from time to time. But overall, neater episode. We got new lore.
Yeah.
That I'm really looking forward to things. They're making God more relevant just by the fact that even if they're acknowledging him, we have the vision. There's more answers, but there's more questions, but there's also been some answers as well. And that's what I like. And those are the things I look for in a good episode. And not to mention the cinematography in this episode was just fantastic. The Reaper scene, the whole entire scene when she entered the equation was shot so different. Cool. The hallway was lit differently. She was shrouded in darkness. It fit so well. And then you have, of course, the visual effects scene with Sam, which was a highlight for me as well when he was curing himself with the holy oil.
Half hallucinating too.
Yeah, that even the sound design, the element with the echoes, was that? Was he talking to himself?
I'm sure it was him.
Darkness talking?
I think it was a mix
because he was saying, "Don't do this, you'll kill me."
I thought it was a mix because A, the darkness doesn't want to go away from the host,
right?
And B, in his mind's like, dude, you're gonna kill yourself.
Could have been
lighting yourself on fire. Like, are you out of your mind? This is not going to work.
It could have been like a borderline insanity, delirium. You know, we do high fever and you start hallucinating, and could be just as simple as that.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I'm gonna keep it simple. Overall, I'm gonna say solid episode, very solid episode. A.
All right, Ryan, what about you?
I agree. I mean, this episode, I agree with Mike. It was heads and tails, I think, better than our premiere episode. We got right into the story. I definitely agree with you earlier. The pacing was really well done. I definitely loved that the two stories were engaging, and it wasn't like, oh, I got to go back to this part of the story and listen, and see what's going on here. It was very well done with Sam and Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Dean, a little bit more of the funnier parts, with the one-liners and Crowley. And then Sam's was more serious. One of the things I kind of liked, and it was kind of like, it was kind of a cop-out, is that he got out of that without having to tell Dean what was going on.
Oh, yeah, by the way, almost died.
Yeah, almost died.
NBD.
By the way, though, I do know the cure for this. So
what was that ride home like?
Yeah, I'm sure that was weird. I did like... I thought the episode, the visual effects, what like Mike said, the freaking Sam healing himself was freaking awesome. I love the way it almost burned out.
Yeah,
the infection or rabbit or whatever. Yeah, the corruption, whatever you want to call it.
That's a perfect way to explain it. It burned out.
It burned it out, right?
Yeah.
Thought that was really, really cool. I would give this. I'm going to give this an A. I'm going to give this episode an A. I tend to agree as well. If this was the episode that we opened up with, I think would have, like Mike might said, the fandom would have been a little more happy. But that tends to happen. If it's a slow first episode, the second episode tends to kill it.
Yeah.
So that's just normally how it works. But yeah, A for me.
Going back to the chat room says that Carver has stated that this is basically a part 2, and that's fine. And he did the same thing last year.
Yeah, he did.
Part 1 and part 2. But if you're going to do that, then you need to go. You need to go old fashioned and say Form and Void Part 1, Form and Void Part 2.
Yeah.
And then say to be continued like you used to do back in the day so that people know
You'd
for a
put that
fact
in your head.
that the story is not finished. You
Right.
need to do that. How hard is it to just do that just so you can pacify us babies in this room?
Us assholes in this room?
Yeah. But it would.
It's smart to do.
Yes. And that's my thing, is that it should have been like that. If you want us to think part 1 and 2, you have to say it. Sorry, but that's how it's always been for all kinds of shows, except something like that's pretty much how it's all been.
No, that's how a lot of shows do it.
Especially if you're going to do it that way. But this is an instance in which Carver's necessity for flashbacks would have worked. If we came in on this episode and had we saved Castiel even for episode 2,
right,
and had this been the premiere with flashbacks showing us there was a baby and they got to the hospital. By the way, this is Jenna. That would have been more of a reason to watch the flashbacks rather than what felt like the vantage point where I've 15 minutes in, I've seen the same scene 8 times.
Right.
That to me felt like a waste of paper, and we talked about that last week. The flashbacks here would have worked.
Yeah.
To me, that would have been a perfect opportunity to be like, hey, we're jumping into the middle of it. By the way, I love flashbacks, so here's what you missed. And it would fit, I think, if you went from this end of season 10 to just a city, a zombie-like dude stumbling around, everyone's freaking dead, no explanation, that would have been really captivating. And then we see Sam's, corrupted. I think we would have had a lot of questions, but the flashback mentality would have worked there.
I can agree with that.
For me, this episode had a lot of good things going for it. Like we said, it had reference to God, new lore, old lore, ties back to the old season. Crowley being classic Crowley was great. We were kind of right about the darkness, like growing up faster than a regular person because you'd have to. It had a ton of new stakes put in with the Reaper, saying that there's the empty. I loved that bit.
That was cool.
I love the references to God. I like seeing how Sam's kind of like old Sam, and Dean even feels like old Dean again, talking about like, oh, we need a maid in here, one was really big, cut off.
Yes.
Castiel's betrayal was something that we've kind of seen, but also new and in its own way heartbreaking at the same time. And the pacing for this one was great. I loved the setup of the episode and Sam's curing himself, and it never felt forced. It wasn't like, oh, let's Google purification because that's a word that's referenced in the Bible. It was something that a Reaper said that made him think, and I loved, like Mike said, the shot of the hallway, that the visual effects in this one. So overall, for this one, much stronger than part 1.
Yes.
If it is set up and then, hit it out of the park, fair enough. But again, I think flashbacks could have made this whole thing a very, very strong episode 1. But for me, again, this one's an A as well.
Nice.
So that's A's across the board.
A.
For us. Triple A, yeah.
Wow.
So with that, guys, we are going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into a little bit of speculation on the upcoming episode 3, The Bad Seed, in just a minute.
At the feet of the defender, where shadow mocks the sun. Titans rise and lightning strikes, the chains are grown undone. Waging war on.
Hey, Supernatural the Crossroads listeners. Over the past year, our show has grown, and it's all because of you. But in order for us to continue to grow, so that we can keep bringing you high-quality content and interviews, be sure to visit our advertisers, iHome, Amazon, Adam and Eve, Bookburst, and Hotel Watchdog. Hey, everybody does online shopping nowadays, so when you're buying items and you're thinking about purchasing items, remember some ads that you might have heard on the show. The Amazon links are the easiest way to help our show. Whenever you want to buy something, many people purchase things through Amazon these days. Go to our site, click through our links, and then continue to shop. That at least will also help and aid our show and help it to grow. And thank you for listening. All right, so the Rain Man digital app is now available for iPhones and Android phones. You can now listen to all of our live uncensored broadcasts directly from the app. Additionally, you're going to have access to our entire on-demand library. And plus, you'll have access to all of our wide variety of programming, from Supernatural the Crossroads to Star Wars From the Back to Tank, and our movie review show, Critique Revolve. So head over to your app store, or Google Play and search Rain Man Digital. Well, I'm not plotting to kill Barry Allen. I'm listening to Ryan Denton on Rain Man Digital's DC on CW.
Iris and Joe's wife, mother, coming back.
Oh, we didn't.
The whole episode he was avoiding her, which I wish they would spend the whole season avoiding her. It's a story that I don't need. I think we got enough shit going on without having to worry about freaking marriage and why she's
baby
left.
mamas. No,
I ain't got time for that shit.
I ain't got time for
I
marriage
completely
either.
forgot about all that because I was just like, I don't
I
care.
glossed it over.
Yeah.
Dude.
Because it was just such a bullshit ending to the show. It's just like, you've been ignoring my phone calls. And then it was like, oh, the end.
That's not an ending I want.
No, it's just, it was nothing. It's like, because they showed Joe wandering around the whole time looking at his phone, ignoring his phone. And you wanted it to be something cool. And it wasn't. It was baby mama drama. Care less.
Check out the new DC fan show, DC on CW, covering topics from The Arrow, The Flash, and the new upcoming television show, Legends of Tomorrow. Head over to RainmanDigitalMedia.com to get more details.
No one in the history of torture has been tortured with torture like the torture you'll be tortured with.
Relax, everyone. You did the new queen a solid. You are sitting at the popular kids' table.
This is Crossroads 003.
Welcome back, everyone, to the last little bit here of Supernatural, The Crossroads. We're going to be talking about, or speculating about, because we haven't done enough of that this episode.
Our speculation so far has been really fucking great.
About the upcoming episode, Episode 3, The Bad Seed. Ryan, do you have the synopsis?
Yes, and now this episode will be directed by Jensen Ackles, so this will be kind of cool. So while
He's done a lot of them now, hasn't he?
Yeah,
or, at
he's
least
done
a
couple.
handful.
Yeah. While Rowena tries to consolidate her power to protect herself from the Winchesters, Sam and Dean search for a missing baby connected to the darkness. Meanwhile, Castiel struggles to heal, and Crowley tries to find a way to use the darkness for his own personal gain. Jensen Ackles directs the episode, written by Brad Buckner and Eugene Ross Lemming.
Eugenie,
whatever.
Now, this synopsis, outside of Rowena being in this episode, this doesn't give us a whole lot other than what we already knew from the way the previous one ended. A wounded Cass shows up at the bunker. They need to find Amara, obviously. Crowley's after her, and she's dangerous, and Crowley does find her, so he's involved, trying to make her his own weapon in some way, which is going to bite him in the ass.
Oh, dude, that's going to come back and bite him right in the ass.
Right in the taint.
Oh.
But Rowena shows up.
just a nibble.
Just a nibble.
Or a tonguing. Or a nice tonguing. And a little bit of pressure. Oh, don't add to it.
Why? You keep saying
between your description, Mike, and his fucking sound effects.
The description is less disgusting as the sound effects that come out of Ryan's mouth.
Yeah, but the combo is the worst thing ever.
We're a regular Brad Buckner and Eugenie Ross Lemming. We're just like that combo. Oh, man. Go ahead.
Either way, so Rowena is the newest thing to be added into this. We haven't seen her since season 10 finale. She clearly has what was the Book of the Damned all to herself.
Yep.
She can read it. It was thanks to the codex. She's a force to be reckoned with now. She can clearly destroy an angel's, willpower.
Yeah. Is she going to care? She is human, I guess, right?
She's human, but she does not deal with them on the same way.
She doesn't care about humanity in any way.
She lives forever.
Yeah.
So she's like pseudo-human, human light.
Yeah.
Human dark.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what her thoughts are on the matter. She was not aware that that unlocking the curse, the cleansing the
or was she
the mark of Cain?
She could have been.
We found out before, and this was when we were speculating that the book and removing the mark would unleash Lucifer from the cage. That the nun who wrote the Book of the Damned heard whispers of darkness.
Right.
Yeah.
Which turns out to be the darkness later, because that had the key to unlock it from its cell, its prison. If she can translate it, and no one else could before, really, maybe she knew the ramifications but was willing.
Okay, do you think we're going to be seeing a grab at power? Like everyone's going to view the darkness as a means to control, so maybe she will find a way in
It's
this in the Book of the Damned. Yeah, maybe find some spell in the Book of the Damned that can harness the darkness or control them or
magic
leash 'em.
is always shown to have the ability to control pretty much everything in this universe. But Death could be bound with a spell,
and he's pretty powerful.
The Leviathans could be knocked out, which nothing except Mr. Clean could do anything to them beforehand.
It was Borox, get it right. And not to mention, here's the thing that I want to know: do we know when the Book of the Damned was written? Because how
centuries ago.
Yeah, but how was it? So how would it have anything to do with the darkness in it?
The darkness whispered to a nun. It somehow whispered through the crack in the wall and got her to write that. That's the idea behind it.
I know.
I mean, if you like Shawshank, you dig in one spot long enough, you're going to tunnel out.
But if the darkness whispered to her to write it, the darkness isn't going to say, "Oh, also here's a spell to control me."
No, but it maybe not. But
that's going on the line of thinking. If the darkness is what was truly whispering to the nun,
it could have been Lucifer.
It could have been something totally different that we have not seen yet.
Yeah,
because that's a valid point. Why would the darkness? Hey, by the way, that's how you get me out. Hey, also, if you want to ever control me, here's this one as well. Write this down.
Maybe it's not in the Book of the Damned.
Yeah,
maybe there's some other spell she has.
Well, come on, I think we all know it's going to be a spell. I hope it isn't. I hope it's just plain old fashioned.
She's shown that. Like I said, magic has shown that it can take out a demon by throwing him a hacky sack. It can take out an angel in a heartbeat.
What if that's what she does to kill the darkness?
It stops Leviathans. It binds death.
Like finale.
Magic arguably is the most powerful thing in this universe.
Bob Singer, can you post that on your Instagram, please?
Oh, man.
Now, does it make sense that she would do that? I mean, maybe she thought her freedom was worth unleashing this. And Rowena is like Crowley. He's never been one. Crowley thinks he can control it.
Yeah,
the apple doesn't fall far from that tree.
Is arrogant enough to think that she can control this?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no way that she's not going to be like, I can take care of this.
Yeah,
her character. That's just how she is.
Do I think she'll be able to? Fuck no.
Absolutely not.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens and how it plays out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Now, what do we think? Is Cass going to be what Crowley was for most of season 8, tied up in a bunker? And because he's still a threat. I mean, he's obviously wounded, and for whatever reason, Rowena's curse can't be healed through traditional angel magic. Does that mean he can't be healed ever? Is he going to bleed out on the carpet there? Or is he going to recover enough but still be violent or whatever because he's on some kind of juice?
I'm talking about Castiel?
Castiel, yeah.
I'm wondering if they might take a break in a couple episodes here and from the darkness and deal with trying to find a way to cure, going after Rowena to find a cure about Castiel. For Castiel.
Maybe that's why she shows up.
Yeah.
She's the one who did the curse. Obviously, she would know how to lift it.
I mean,
She'd be the only one.
They're searching based on the synapses. They're searching for a baby who's missing, so they don't even know that the baby can grow
or what it looks like.
Yeah,
they still think it's a baby, not a kid. Crowley's the only one who knew that it was still a little girl.
Yeah, this is definitely not going to be a filler episode. I think this will have to do with the main, myth arc, but it's not going to.
Dude, I don't think we'll get.
I think we'll take a break from certain things to kind of slow down a bit.
I don't
think they need to slow down.
I don't think we'll get a filler until at least like episode 5 or 6.
Probably. If one soul transforms you from newborn to 7-8-year-old, and Crowley had 5 or 6 in the van, she's gonna hit.
Sounds so creepy.
She's gonna hit Amara age
little girl.
by next episode.
Want some candy?
Oh God.
Hey, little girl, want some candy? Come over here.
What is that?
I like how Ryan's is like this dark back alley version, and you're like this hillbilly version.
Yeah,
of a show.
Just a high pitched guy. That's all. Okay, so this
you're the
episode,
guy from Family Guy.
Yes.
Hey, Chris.
Okay, so the episode is written by Brad Buckner and Eugenie Ross Lemming. Now, that is, correct me if I'm wrong, listeners in the chat room, but those are the writers that people don't like. I think they make fun of them and call them names. So, I mean, but Jensen Ackles is directing it, so maybe be improved in some way. I guess a lot of people complain. I call them the terrible duo or something they call it. Remember we talked about this last year?
Yeah.
I have liked several of their episodes, so I don't really quite know what they're talking about, but I do know that I think those writers are hated on a lot. Really fast, I wasn't going to take calls, but I know Maddie asked if we're going to take calls. If you guys want to call in and leave us your thoughts on this episode as well as what you think is going to happen next episode, you can call us 818-394-0279 and give us your thoughts.
Is that, I'm sorry, for right now or for next episode?
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
Right now, not later.
Later now?
You want to call when the show ends? Or?
Yeah, call after I leave.
There you go. Call when no one's home. It'll just ring forever.
Just leave a message.
Oh, my God. Anyways, taking it back while we're waiting to see if anybody calls. When we were talking about Act 1, we were talking about the I'm taking it back to...
the beginning, apparently.
No. How the 2 episodes should have been to be continued.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people were saying that, we don't really need. I also got a couple of tweets about this. My whole beef is not that it has to say to be continued, but if you're doing a to be continued storyline, even though that the story picks up immediately where it left off, but my thing is the sheer academics of the writing structure.
Yeah.
If you're writing it to be continued, then it needs to feel that way. There needs to be a certain act structure written to make you feel like, hey,
it's a two-parter.
That writing structure was not there.
Yeah.
The writing structure was set as a standalone episode.
Exactly.
And that's all I was saying about it.
Welcome to Supernatural The Crossroads. Who's this?
Hello.
The voice is in our head, apparently.
Hello.
Maddie. How are you, Maddie? Oh.
I see you too, Maddie. You gave us video. She's oh my god!
Oh crap! Well, too late now.
What if she was naked? That would have been awkward, right, Maddie?
Mike always answers his Skype naked.
I do. No one else does. I'm naked right now.
You are?
No.
Anyway, Maddie, what did you want to talk about with us today? Fifth Age. Remember the only time you were in hell? That place, totally fun, right? You want to go back?
But what if that wasn't God?
What if it wasn't God? We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, see,
it could be Lucifer theoretically because they were vessels, so maybe he has some connection to him,
some psychic connection a little bit.
But then again, the cage was like this far away place that no one could get to.
But what if the cage has been weakened because of the darkness being released,
the mark being
and the
set
mark?
Free.
So Maddie brings some good thoughts.
Fair point. Yeah, is that your theory, Maddie?
Well, it was also kind of like. They said in the first episode the rumors about them trying to communicate out, and they didn't know if it was Michael or Lucifer.
Oh, the first episode with the scream that they even from the cage they could hear it.
Right.
That is true. So if they're loud enough, apparently.
Right. Well, if they're trying to break out, if they're trying to do like the old fashioned prison movie where they're cranking on the door on the jail cell with the tin cup and they're making a loud racket to alert the guards to something. You take any avenue you can get.
Maybe Michael and Lucifer, if, bygones be bygones, and they're bro teaming up to fight the darkness.
Well,
bro team, dude.
It kind of, just to back Maddie up a bit here as well, is it makes you wonder a bit. Okay, they've been locked up now for several years, which to them is even longer. Okay.
Way longer.
So, okay. Now, obviously, they were never happy to be locked up in the cage in the first place, again. Okay,
right.
Or Michael for the first time.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're making a ruckus over this, and
rather than just wanting
to get out, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping the writers don't let it go the entire season. I don't think they will. I think they got a good handle what they want to do this year.
I think so.
I really like the pacing. So far it feels like it's a 2 for 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Episode for the season. It's a very. Even if you're the first episode is a little weak, it was still a lot. It was maybe Carver's one of his strongest opening episodes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It set a lot up.
Yeah.
It set a lot up that I didn't necessarily see coming, which I like that after 11 years, because there are some things that we call out and we're like, and not because I don't think it's predictable, but just because of the fact that I think we understand the supernatural world through and through. And if after 11 years they can set up some stuff that we may not have seen completely, and the fact that the darkness isn't a vessel per se, I think that's a huge plus for me as well. I don't think anybody wanted it to be that.
Yeah.
It's not exactly what I wanted it to be, but
they do creepy kids very well.
Yeah.
And they do them in a way where it doesn't feel repetitive.
Yeah.
Although, how long will she be a kid at this rate?
She won't be,
dude.
It's
kind of like Lilith did the same kind of creepy little girl vibe.
She was the first. Well, not the first one, I guess. The leech kids were the first one.
On this league, like super high-ranking power.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But I don't think anyone's feeling like, oh, this is just Lilith 2.0.
Oh.
You see what I mean?
Lilith, she won't be Lilith 2.0 because I'm going to give it 2 episodes. She'd be fully grown.
Right.
Well, Lilith also, as a kid, was being a demon on a power trip, being a dickhead.
Yeah.
And the darkness is like, I don't want to...
being a dickhead.
Exactly. And I don't think the darkness wants to be a kid. It wants to keep eating and grow to, full power, essentially. It's
nom, nom, nom.
This isn't my final form.
It's not there to play petty games, unlike Lilith.
Right. That's what I got from it. And that's the difference between Lilith. I also sense sheer evil. Like she was, I don't sense that with the dark. I don't sense sheer evil.
Yeah.
Yes, she's eating souls, but as we talked about earlier,
just food for her.
Yeah, I don't sense that, and because of that, I think there's a clear difference. Although the girl did have a creepy smile at the end when Crowley offered her candy.
Well, don't you get a creepy smile when a man comes up in a van and offers you candy?
Some candy?
Or are you the one in the van?
I get a creepy frown and run.
So far, she comes off as very amoral.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like, oh, you're giving me hamburger. Of course I'm going to eat a hamburger.
Right.
Not like, oh, this is a human being with a soul and free will and this and that. It's just more like, I'm going to eat it.
I think I know at least Ryan would probably consider a hamburger even if it came from a man's van.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He'd be like, I'm kind of hungry.
Look, if it was medium well with some Swiss cheese, we're good, dude.
Maddie, anything else you wanted to talk to us about?
No, the pacing I thought was really good. I really like the lighting and the music choices this year.
Yeah,
I think they've been really well done.
I agree.
The hospital scene was a great example.
It's very first season, second season.
It's Kripke-esque, and that's exactly what I was talking to these guys earlier about that we didn't quite get into. But yeah, that's something that I felt immediately.
Yeah,
is in fact we did talk about it.
We talked a bit about this episode last.
It feels more like Kripke-esque. Absolutely,
it's darker. It's not the bright digital, well lit of seasons 8, 9, and even 10 to some degree. This especially the hospital is dark.
But this brings about a question, and maybe Maddie, since you're on the phone, you can answer this. But okay, so again, I know we're only 2 episodes in, okay, but obviously the style does feel a lot more nostalgic. So I'm wondering how much of that is because Bob Singer is no longer a co-executive producer.
Well, I was going to like not bring it up. But I was actually thinking the same thing of like how much of that stylistic shift has been because for whatever reason.
Oh.
Yeah,
he's not in such an active role anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to slam the guy because I like him. I think a lot of people love him, but at the same token, like we have all given, not me specifically, but there's a lot of people in the fandom that have given Jeremy Carver such shit for some choices he's made. But what if it wasn't him?
Never know.
If he's show running though, I mean, then it is him. Because
still his fault.
Yeah, overall, you're the leader, and you got to take the blame for any bad choices or malcontent among the fandom or your audience. But who knows? Time will tell. Time will tell this season as to what we're getting and what creative forces are dictating what and allowing what to happen this season.
Yeah.
Right. No, and so far it's been very solid. Maybe the most solid Carver's been in. So
let's hope it keeps going. But thank you, Maddie, for taking the time to talk to us.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, thanks.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Maddie.
No problem. Talk to you later. Bye. Yeah, that's a fair point that it's, I don't know, borderline negative, but it could be something that maybe Singer had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Design, that, aesthetic appeal of the show.
I love
lately.
Bob Singer, man. I really do love that guy. But you know what?
It's something to consider. I mean, this is the speculation episode in regards to that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of it too. Do we want to wait around for another call, or are we going to move on to the last little bit of just news for us? Yeah. All right, guys. Again, the fan fiction contest is continuing until the end of this year.
Yep.
We don't have an exact date. I don't know if you want to go like the 31st.
No, I'll get that information out soon.
Well, we'll have that on the Facebook page, probably on our Twitter.
You want to remind people really fast about the fanfics rules and whatnot?
For those of you who don't know or are interested in submitting, it is, Gen fiction.
Yes.
Which is general. So we're looking for not exactly, not romance stories or... Oh, we got another call?
Oh!
Somebody? Hello?
Hold on.
Oh.
Hello, how are you?
It didn't go through again.
Oh, there we go.
It must be...
Bye.
Must be the same mess up as last time. For some reason...
Thank you, come again.
All right, continue.
All right. So general fiction, guys. So that's... We're not looking for romance stories or anything like that. We're looking more for your version of how you would do an episode of Supernatural, maybe some storyline that didn't go somewhere. Like for me, my go-to example is what could have been with Eve rather than switching to Leviathans at the last minute kind of thing.
That might go into some romance, some old-fashioned fanfic.
Maybe. But again, it's general fiction, so submit that all. Mike, what's the email that they're supposed to send it to?
mail@supernaturalthecrossroads.com.
Mail at...
And it's genderless, so it's MAIL at supernaturalthecrossroads.com.
Stupid.
And also, guys, again, that's going until the end of the year. There is going to be a prize for that. We're not sure entirely what yet. We have a couple things that we know for
someone gave us I want to give her a shout out. I forgot her name's Christina. I don't want to...
You look that up real
She
quick.
just gave us an idea for one of... Because I want to do lots of different awards. But prizes, I should say. But she gave us an idea of possibly... She says that there's a big... Let me just read it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why don't you just read it?
Simmer down.
You were struggling.
Well,
there.
because I'm trying to pull up 1,000 things at once.
But while Mike's looking that up, guys,
and the phone system's down, so it just collapsed.
Good. Just all kinds of good technology over here. While Mike's looking that up, again, this is going to be read by the three of us, as well as I believe
I'm going to read it in my sexy voice.
He's going to read it in sexy voice on his own, not on air.
Oh, I'm not.
No,
we're not reading these on air.
No, but we are going to be the judges of this, as well as I believe we're going to bring in one or two. Get one. Okay.
Yeah, somebody related
one guest
to the
judge.
Yeah, related to the supernatural world.
Related to that. That'll be a special surprise. Hopefully.
Yeah.
If we pull all our strings at the right time.
Okay, now, one of the ideas for the prizes is this. It's from Christina Johansson, I want to say.
Thank you, Christina.
I came up with the perfect prize for your fanfic contest. You guys should record a podfic audiobook of the winning story in your studio. Podfics are super popular, she says, but the sound quality is often low because most people just read into their phones. So a quality podfic would be a great prize to win.
So I would get to be a character?
I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong. No. What is that exactly?
Basically like an audiobook.
I was going to say, is that like we read it as characters or we read it as a story?
We wouldn't do anything. I would hire an actor.
You'd hire someone who actually has talent rather than the three of us.
Right. I would hire an actor with a nice voice.
Right.
Not that we don't have nice voices, but nice reading voices.
Mike.
Right.
Fucking Mike.
Okay, listen. If you want your prize to be Ryan and his reading skills,
I have great reading skills.
The whole point would be for it to be a professional sounding audiobook, and I will produce the entire thing and make it sound professional, and I'll hire an actor and bring him into the ADR booth and have him record and have a recording session and have him read your story.
That'd be
and then that way you can promote that out on your own as you have an audiobook for your fanfic. Well, I didn't think about that, but that's a good. I have an entire studio. I have a production room. I should use what we have.
Right.
Well, I also
here we are like, what should we get for the prize? We're sitting around all this shit.
I also too have a one of the big huge bags from San Diego Comic-Con that is Supernatural.
Yeah.
So we could give that away too to someone. I have that. It's just sitting in my closet. I grabbed it for the purpose of giving it away.
Yeah.
And
we're finalizing the prize.
Yeah,
or prize
I
is.
think
I'm not sure how we're going to do
maybe
that
the next 2 or 3 weeks. I've just been really busy. We'll figure out what all the prizes will be, and then maybe it'll be a little more
date
enticing.
with Thomas.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? You're a single guy, Ryan. Though maybe they want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
In the way that you do all your special sexy time voices. Anyway, guys,
wants that.
we will let you know on the Facebook page and on Twitter and on the show as soon as we have the details finalized. Thank you for listening to us here on Supernatural The Crossroads. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Tell your friends about the show. Check out the Rain Man digital app for iPhone and Android. Get that to listen to all the episodes as well as all the other shows on the network. They're a lot of fun, and we're all on different shows as well. And thank you guys for spending your evening with us, and we will all talk to you later.
Later.
You little maggot. You are no longer a part of this story. Hey, ass butt.